Hello, Grand Rapids. I'm City Manager Mark Washington, and I want to, first of all, thank all of our veterans who have served our country for their honorable service, whether you're in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or even Space Force. Thank you for the amount of sacrifice that you have made to our country and our community to keep us all safe. So happy Veterans Day to everyone. I also want to thank all of those who were part of making this year's Election Day such a success. I'm standing in the 9th floor of City Hall, which was one of the ground zeros for voter participation. And this was an unprecedented election in that we had 60% of the registered voters turn out. And so that was very, very successful. I want to thank all the volunteers, the staff, the workers, the city clerk's office, the many city departments, our community-based organizations for all that you've done. And I just want to be clear that as city manager, I am not partisan, not bipartisan, but nonpartisan in that we support government regardless of who is in office and make sure that we exercise everyone's constitutional rights, but particularly making sure that everyone has a right to vote and take advantage of that right. And so I want to thank everyone for making this year's voters experience a very successful campaign. I also want to follow up on some conversations that we've been having here in the city of Grand Rapids. Not long ago, the City Commission had a retreat about its priorities over the next 6 months, and many of the things that we discussed was around housing and homelessness and public safety and, of course, COVID, and making sure that we have a resilient economy, economic development and support. And as we discuss safety, we recognize there has been an increase in violent crimes, particularly homicides, this year, as some other communities around the country are experiencing. The police department has been responsive in making sure that they've increased their partnership with neighborhoods and to have focused patrol and visibility in areas where the violent crime is occurring, particularly around homicides, and has also participated in some proactive efforts such as the gun buyback program. And this past weekend was the second gun buyback program of this year, and in total over 260 weapons were bought back by the police department. This is something that hasn't been done since the early 1990s. I believe 1991 was the last time we attempted that effort here in Grand Rapids. And so I want to thank the police department and our Safe Task Force and all of our community members who partnered with us to make that buyback a success. We've also been talking about the appropriate usage of CARES funding that the county has allocated to help us fight and prevent the uptick in crime that has happened since COVID. I know that there's been a lot of discussion around gunshot technology, as well as alternatively, are there any other appropriate uses of that funding that has been made available from Kent County for violence prevention. And we've recently gotten clarification from the county that in addition to gunshot technology, there may be other eligible uses that has to be used in public safety, specifically the police department. And we will be talking about that with the City Commission on next Tuesday. So stay tuned to hear the conversation, but we appreciate the support that the county has provided during these very difficult and unprecedented times. So there's lots of things that are going on in our community, and particularly as we prepare for the upcoming holiday season, I want to take this opportunity to encourage and plead with everyone to continue to be vigilant and do what you can to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. I know that the holiday season, especially Thanksgiving, is a time that we often look to gather with family and in large numbers, and that may not be possible for some. But if you are to gather, I would ask that you do so very safely and make sure that if you're within 6 feet of someone that you do wear a mask and sanitize and wash your hands, and to the extent possible, if you're to gather, try to do so in outdoor settings and are making sure that they're in spaces where people are appropriately physically distanced. I know this is tough because we want to be near each other during times like these, both holiday season, but especially after a year like this. But I will ask that you do all that you can to make sure that you remain safe and your loved ones and friends and family members also remain safe. So happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.